Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about a very crucial topic that I know a lot of people on uh, Blossom have been kind of asking, especially newer investor, and that is the um, how to effectively budget on a monthly basis and save money towards our retirement or whatever the goal may be. Um, if you've ever wondered how to take if you've ever wondered how to take control of your finances and make your money work for you, this will be many of the strategies that we're going to be sharing in this video is going to be particularly useful for you. Um, so let's get started. First thing first, why is budgeting important, right? You might be wondering, right? Like, why is it important for us to budget when we're trying to save um, for a particular goal or for a particular purpose? A budget is basically a roadmap for our finances, right? It helps us kind of track our income, our expenses, our saving goals. What a budget is, without a budget, it's easy to lose kind of control and kind of end up anywhere, really. We're not really taking intentional actions towards making those goals come to life, right? So, budget kind of serves as kind of that roadmap for us to kind of walk through. Secondly, the second uh, this first step in kind of building a budget, I guess I would say, is start by listing your resources, sources of income, right? What are the incomes that you have working for you on a monthly basis, yearly, right? So you want to list those and kind of work towards that. This includes your salary, your side gigs, any additional sources of money that might be coming in. As you might see in my recent video that I made, I kind of listed my primary source of income. So you'd want to do that. Next, list your monthly expenses. What are your expenses? What are the things that are going out for you on a monthly basis, from rent or mortgage to groceries, utilities, and entertainment? Don't forget savings and investments, especially if you're trying to buy a house. As we all know, that is kind of a major challenge that we're all kind of facing these days. So you do want to list all of those. Um, so after you've done that, then you want to begin by categorizing your expenses as fixed and variable, right? Fixed expenses like rent remains constant. It doesn't really change on a monthly basis. While variable expenses such as dining out may change once in a while and each month. This helps you to see where you have flexibility. What are those things that you can maybe make changes on a monthly basis? Um, so yeah, that's one of the first things that you want to do is by categorizing them and kind of knowing what categories they are. Next, you do want to set realistic goals. What do I mean by realistic goals? Uh, the realistic goals are basically like building emergency funds, paying for your debt, or saving for vacation. These goals will keep you motivated and accountable, right? You have specific intention towards a specific goal that you're working towards, right? Like when you're trying to build an emergency funds, obviously you have a specific goal in mind that you're trying to reach, right? Um, and an additional thing that I want to say here is that you want to make that goal measurable, right? For example, if you want to say for an emergency fund purposes, you may be thinking about you know long term and short term. Like for this month, how much do I want to contribute towards my retirement goals? For next month, how much do I want to contribute? By the end of this year, how much do I want to have in that fund? Right? You want to make sure it's a targeted and very measurable goal. And you don't want to make it something you can't achieve either, right? That's one of the major factors you want to think about when you're building a budget is You want to make whatever the goal is something that's very realistic and measurable. And the next thing you want to do is track your expenses, right? We can all really fall into the habit of just kind of letting our expenses go and just not really paying much attention to what we're spending on. But in this case, you do want to kind of rein that in and track them on a monthly basis. There are great budgeting apps. I actually made a video a couple years ago now that just mentioned some of the budgeting apps that I've used in the past. I think many of those apps are still pretty good. Of course, I'll also be making new ones to update that video to make it more of recent. I'll be including some of the ones that I can find of recent that can help you towards budgeting effectively. Um, you might even use things like Excel to kind of help you get started, keep tab of your spending regularly. You want to also be regularly reviewing and kind of revealing spending patterns and areas where you can cut and increase, right? That is one of those things that you do want to do on a monthly basis, right? Towards working towards that goal. Um, the next thing you want to do once you've made a budget and you've kind of make it a realistic and you're tracking it is you want to begin by cutting out unnecessary expenses. There are so many different unnecessary expenses that we spend on a monthly basis. Um, Identifying areas where you can trim your spending, right? This may involve cooking at home instead of going out, which is something I think a lot of people are having to do nowadays, anyways. But I still find that a lot of people are still eating out while they could be cutting and making meals at home. First of all, making meal at home helps control the amount of salt and sugar and all that stuff that goes into your food. So that is something that's not only beneficial for your wallet, it's also beneficial for your health. Canceling unnecessary subscriptions. I know, you've probably heard this before. Canceling subscription is one of those things that many financial advisors or people who work in the financial fields have probably recommend for people trying to sort of keep tabs on their expenses. But it really is true, right? Like there are so many things that we subscribe to that we don't necessarily use on a monthly basis. For example, a lot of people could be subscribed to like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and so many of those subscription companies are out there right now, right? Um, so you want to see the ones that you're actually using, and the ones that you're not using, you can cut them out. Every dollar you save counts, right? So the next thing you want to do is build an emergency fund. It's crucial to build an emergency fund. Aim for between 3 to 6 months when you're building that. Um, this should be around your living expenses, right? Like 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. So you want to build, maybe about 10,000, depending on um, what your monthly budget is and what your monthly expenses are. So you want to have that in an emergency fund in case anything happens. The next thing that you do want to do is make saving an habit. I know a lot of people suggest people automate their savings on a monthly basis. I would actually suggest that you intentionally put that money in there. I guess I can see why it can be very beneficial for some people to, maybe automate them if they're just getting used to investing and maybe don't have that habit built yet. But I think it's very important that people make intentional decisions when it comes to their savings, right? Like part of building and changing our habits is making that choice as to what we're trying to do, what the goal is for ourselves. We don't want to automate it because then it kind of disengages it is involve us from the process of making those choices, right? We want to be intentionally making them. Uh, and now the last thing that I want to suggest is that you stay disciplined after you've done all of this, right? It can be very easy for us to kind of fall off the wagon once we've kind of like, been doing it for a while or whatever. It's very easy for us to just kind of say, "Oh, I've got it now. I don't need to do budgeting anymore." If it's working, then you want to keep on doing it, because it's an habit that needs to continue for a very long time in order for you to continue to work towards that goal that you're hoping to achieve. Um, that about wraps up my guide on effective monthly budgeting and saving money. Remember, budgeting is a skills that improve with practices. The more you practice, the better you get. The more you work on it, the more control you'll have over your financial future. Thank you for joining me on today's video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.